Hello, it's the Friday Talkie. I have got 3 and a bit different topics to talk about today. The first one is a follow-up from last week where I did the captions thing. And then response to EdT1138, Top 3 Tuesday, most obscure items in your collection. Followed by, is requiring the memorization of a level an acceptable feature in video games? And finally, pay for access channels. YouTube are rolling that out, and I'm going to talk about that a bit. So, excuse me, I have a cough, so there will probably be a lot of jump cuts where I cut out me coughing. So if you see more than usual jump cuts, and there are usually a lot, that's what that's all about. Anyway, yes, following on from last week where I put in the captions, closed captions on my Friday Talkie video, and I told you I would tell you if that had any effect whatsoever, and was it worth it. Well, first of all, I estimated how long it would take me to add captions to last week's Friday Talkie. It was a 54-minute video. I estimated it would take me 2 to 3 hours to type up the captions. No. No, it didn't. It took me 7 hours. I used up a massive chunk of my Saturday just typing. Massive eye strain, hurt like hell, stiff back, everything. I suffered for the sake of finding out if adding closed captions was worth the bother. And the answer is no, absolutely not. I know for a fact that it was helpful to at least one person who is not a native English speaker, and that's cool. But in terms of bringing in more views, more traffic, okay, it was a 50-something minute long video, which can be off-putting for some people, but nevertheless, bring people in? No, it didn't. And I'd done captions on the video before it as well, which was a gameplay video, and it made no difference to that either. So I think it will be worth doing on some of my other videos, like system reviews and things like that. I might put closed captions on them purely because it may appeal to some non-native English speakers, but as something for search engine optimization, it ain't worth it. Not if it takes that long, that amount of time. 7 hours was not worth it. On a shorter video, just for the sake of assisting a few people who might struggle to understand what I'm saying, fair enough. But no, there will be no more captioned Friday Talkies, absolutely not. Yeah, it was worth doing though, just as an experiment, just to find out. I don't regret doing it for all the pain that I went through. It was worth finding out, so now you don't have to. Moving on. EdT1138, Top 3 Tuesday, most obscure items in your collection. I've seen quite a few people do responses to this, and I think it's a good question. Now, Ed is talking about most obscure as opposed to necessarily rare or valuable, just something people haven't really heard of. And peripherals are as valid an inclusion as systems or games or whatever. It's an odd one actually. I don't collect peripherals and stuff like that. I don't really have many, and I certainly don't have any obscure ones, so it's going to have to be systems. I was going to actually show you a circuit board, the accelerator card that I have inside this here Tower Amiga. But I'm a lazy sod and I can't be bothered to take it out because it's awkward. That would have been something I would have shown you. It was a 68060 Phase 5 Blizzard 1260 card with a SCSI add-on card. But I'm not going to because I'm lazy and it's too much effort to get it out of there. So, excluding my Amiga, the most, well, it is probably one of the most expensive on eBay, but it's about rarity and obscurity and who the hell's heard of these. I have done a video of this anyway, so some of you will be familiar with it. It is the Jupiter Ace. It was designed by a couple of guys who originally worked for Spectrum. Spectrum worked for Sinclair and designed the Spectrum and possibly the ZX81. I don't remember. I've done a video telling all about this anyway. I don't know what these cost now. When I bought this 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, it cost me £300. It had been sitting in someone's loft. They didn't know what they'd got, and they actually messaged me afterwards saying, holy cow, I had no idea it would sell for that kind of money. I thought it was a piece of junk. They only made 8,000 of these, so fairly rare. Obscure, I don't know. It's one of those things that people heard of back in the day, thought that's interesting, but never bought one, but have heard of, which is why it commands a higher price now. The interesting feature of this is the programming language that's built in is Forth, and the only other machine I know of that does that is the Fignition. I have one of those, and thank you very much, Mark, for giving me that. If you want to learn Forth, though, I don't recommend buying one of these, because apart from being insanely expensive and not especially powerful, the keyboard is a sack of shit. This is awful. This is truly... They're rubber keys like on the Spectrum, but they're worse than on the Spectrum because it's cheaply made. The holes don't really marry up properly with the keys, so sometimes you'll press a key and it'll get stuck down. You know, it doesn't come back up. It's awful. It's black and white. It does have sound, unlike, say, the ZX81. I think it does anyway. I can't... Do you know what? I can't actually... No, I must... I've got videos of the games, some games on it anyway. Yeah, so that is the Jupiter Ace. Something else that I really don't know how many of these they made. And sadly this one doesn't work. But these come up less often than the Jupiter Ace on eBay. And this is the EACA Colour Genie. Now I've got the Video Genie 3000 down there, and that's a Tandy TRS-80 Model 1 clone. So you would think that the Colour Genie would be a Tandy TRS-80 Colour Computer clone, but it's not. Having said that, I don't actually know what it is. I mean, is it like a modified Coco in the same way that the Dragon 32 is a modified Coco? Or is it... I'll tell you what it is, it's dusty. Yeah, need to dust that. The non-working ones kind of don't get quite the love that the other ones do. Is it like, say, the Sword M5 and stuff like that? Is it more of an MSX type thing? I have no idea. It probably isn't actually, because they would be Z80 based, and I don't think this is. Can't remember. I've done another video on this that goes into more detail. Links to the videos for this and for the Jupiter Ace, annotations, links down there, something or other to the main videos if you're interested in it, them, something. Yeah, so EACA Colour Genie, you don't see them very often, and when you do, actually I don't know what they sell for, I ain't got a clue. So it's just an oddity, because who's ever heard of one? Actually, I know two people who've heard of them other than me, but there you go. And last but by no means least, actually it might be least actually, I have shown these in no particular order, but whatever. That C64 Game System. Again, I've got a video of this already up. I'll link to it down there if you want to see more detail. Basically, this is a Commodore 64 without a keyboard and without the function keys, wherever they would be. They'd be down there, wouldn't they? It's cartridge based. It will play some Commodore 64 cartridge games, but by no means all of them. In fact, not most of them, I think, because a lot of your cartridge based games for the Commodore 64 require you to press one of the function keys or keys on the keyboard. of which this has neither. So they had to modify the games on the cartridges, which leaves this with a very limited supply of games for it. It did not sell at all well. People looked at it and thought, why the hell would we buy that? Why don't we just buy a Commodore 64? Because this is vastly less functional. It's a stupid idea. Commodore were just jumping on a bandwagon, the same one that Amstrad did with the GX4000 and Atari did with the XEGS. The XEGS of the three is probably the only remotely useful one because you can use it as a full 8-bit computer because you've got the keyboard. Yeah, appalling, stupid, dumb idea. They sell for a lot of money now because they didn't sell at the time because people knew that they were rubbish. I paid £10 for this on a car boot sale a long time ago, and I'm very glad that I did, because I have seen them sell for insane money on eBay, because there's not many of them about. Okay, that's my response to Ed T1138, link to his video down there. Okay. Is requiring the memorization of a level an acceptable feature in video games? What am I talking about? This week and last week, whilst playing, there was the Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mania and Mickey's Wild Adventure or whatever, which were basically the same game. And, indeed, the Smurfs game. I encountered areas where... Well, the best example I can think of actually is on the Smurfs game, that apple. There was a point where there's an open hollow tree that I want to walk into, and above it, where you can't see it, is an apple. And if you just walk straight ahead, the apple will fall on your head. But until it's actually happened, you have no way of knowing that's going to happen. You can't see it. So the only way you're ever going to survive that level is you've got to die or lose a life or whatever, at least once. And I think that's not what gaming is meant to be about, to me. Is like, is this a video? To me, and this is a personal opinion, video games are about skill, or in my case a complete lack of it. You have your character on the screen, you have obstacles or challenges or something. You can see them, you figure out what it is you've got to do, and then you try to do it. You may fail. If you're me, you very likely will. But you at least, you can see what it is. You know, avoid that enemy. Jump that gap. But I have found that there are games, and Smurf and the Mickey games were too, where you couldn't see the enemy. If you just walked across the screen, an object would fall on you and you were dead. No time to react. You had to know it was there beforehand. Or leaps of faith. There was a point on the Mickey game where I'm on that tower thing and running down the platforms, and there'd be a gap on one side of me and a gap on the other, and if I went to the left I lived, and if I went to the right I died, but the only way I could ever find out was to try it and see. So this was not, these games, areas of these games were not about skill. They were a memory test, and that to me is, that is not right. That's not what video gaming is about. And I don't know exactly what point it is I'm trying to make apart from to grumble about it. Do they still do that kind of thing in gaming? I mean, I've got quite a few modern games now, and I can't think of anywhere in a modern game now where you have that memory test thing where you can die through no fault of your own because you haven't been on that part before. It's strange actually, because there have been people who replied or left comments on those videos saying, yeah, games back then, they were hard. There was no hand holding. You really had to work at it. You had to memorize the level. I actually don't think that's a good thing. I think, yeah, they were hard, But I don't think that made them good. I think that made them bad. I've got no problem with a game being hard if it's fair. But I think requiring you to memorise a level is not fair. Requiring you to die so that you will know not to do that next time is not fair at all. God. I would say imagine if life was like that. But in a sense it is. We know not to do certain things because people around us have done them and died. But, God, imagine, you know, imagine if we didn't learn from our peers or the experiences of our peers or history or whatnot. But that's kind of irrelevant, really, because we do. But no, I think in a video game, requiring you to die so that you don't die again is not valid. So yeah, rock hard games, fine, but they've got to be fair, and some of them just aren't, and I don't think they're like that anymore. So I do think it's fair to say that not all retro games are better. I mean, so Defender is rock hard, absolutely brutal, kicks my ass. I'm lucky if I can get to level 3, never mind past it. Brutal, but it's fair. You know, if you died, it was your fault. You didn't control your ship well enough. But then there are games like the two I've just mentioned, and plenty of others, where you can die and it's no fault of your own, and I think that's pissy. So in that sense, just because it's hard, don't make it good. Alright, I'm going to move on, because I haven't really got a very well thought out point for that one. I'm just kind of grumbling, really. Well, this is going to turn out to be a short talkie, I think. Anyway, YouTube. You know that there are ads on a great many channels, mine included. I make a bit of money from them. It's very useful. It's not a lot, but by God, I need it. Anyway, I am very, very aware that those ads piss a lot of people off. They don't necessarily appear on mobile devices, and a lot of people run ad block. Fair enough. YouTube are enabling a new feature for channels with over 10,000 subscribers, which is a paywall. They are saying if you got over 10,000 subscribers, you can charge your subscribers between 99, now is it pence or cents, I'm not sure, and £3.60, $60, again I don't know if that's pounds or dollars, so we'll call it pence, 99p and £3.60 per month. I guess it's instead of ads. And I do see where they're coming from. First of all, before I go on, because there are lots of people now probably thinking, holy shit, no, Steve's going to start charging for his content. No, first of all, I don't have 10,000 subscribers, so I couldn't even if I wanted to. And secondly, I do not have any plans to do this. I have no plans whatsoever to charge a monthly fee for you to watch me going blah and playing games badly. But I do want to talk about it as an idea, as a thing. I understand the appeal of this thing. I also think it's very flawed. Put it this way, I'm not a million miles away from hitting 10,000. So in the future situation where I've got 10,000 subscribers, the ideal situation if I was going to do this, which I'm not, I must stress, 99 pence minimum you can charge per month. That would be, you know, £9,999 a month. I can see why some people would want to do that, because it sounds great. It really does. That sounds like astronomical money. But the thing is, I think channels doing that, particularly channels that are like on the bottom level, will just find that they'll lose all their subscribers. It might pay off. I suppose it depends how much money is a channel making from the ads. I can't tell you how much I'm making from the ads. It's part of the terms and conditions. You can't talk about that. But there will be some channels that will do the maths and realise, yeah, okay, I'm going to lose this many subs. Though if you've got a channel with 10,000 and they implement this paywall, that's going to lose them a ton of subs, which will knock them down below 10,000. Will they then be excluded from this scheme again? I don't know about that. Here's what I have a really big issue with. 99p a month for you to watch my videos sounds really quite reasonable. Are they entertaining enough for 99p a month? It's not for me to say. I stress again, I'm not going to do it, but you know, it sounds quite reasonable when you think what you can pay for some video services on the interwebs, but it's just one channel. Imagine if all the people you subscribe to decided to do that, and I'm sure YouTube would love it if everyone did, but I'm subscribed to 197 channels. I would then, if all of those channels decided, yeah, okay, we're going to start charging £197 a month to watch. No, because this is about community, I think, for a great many of us, it really would divide the community. It would be those who decided, yeah, I think my stuff's good enough, I'm going to charge for it. It would tear a community apart, because those ones charging would effectively saying, I think I'm better than you. I think I make better videos than these people. You've got to pay to watch me. And then there will be those who don't. It would either destroy the community because there would be... You would have to decide who can I afford to watch and who can't I, and the ones who are... You're like, yeah... It would be catastrophic, I think. Where there is a fairly close, tight-knit community like we have, I think that kind of scheme would be very, very bad. I love the idea of the money. My God, if I thought I could get 9 grand, nearly 10 grand a month, wow, that would be awesome. But I don't think that I could, and I'm very, very aware of how bad that would be for a community, because it would have stopped being about community. It would have stopped being about sharing ideas and games. You know, showing the games and saying, hey, this is good. It stops being about what this is all about and just becomes a business. It would all just become show business, about making a good show, about entertainment. Fine, great. I watch YouTube to be entertained. The people I watch because I find them entertaining or interesting or educational, but it's a two-way thing, and I think as soon as you throw money into that, oh, it distorts it greatly. It stops being what it is now. So yeah, I don't know what other people's thoughts are on it. I've not spoken to anyone about it. I've just watched a couple of videos that have said, yeah, they're doing it. Or in fact, I don't think I've watched videos. I've just read some pages. It's an interesting idea. I hope it doesn't get out of hand, because I think it could do a lot of harm. Certainly it could make some people a lot of money, but do a lot of damage. Okay. That's about all I've got to talk about right now, so I shall shut up. I'm listening to stuff going on downstairs. Huh. Alright, shutting up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up button. I upload videos daily, so go ahead and hit subscribe if you'd like to see more. To all those who've already subscribed, I'd just like to say a great big thank you.